Right. Hello there, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever it is, whenever you're actually watching this. My name is Paul, I'm also called Knick-Knack, and I meant to have this video posted on Friday. It's now Saturday, the 28th of December. This is my review of the Christmas special episode of Doctor Who called Joy to the World, and I thought you'd like to hear what I thought of what I saw. Joy to the World opens with bombs being dropped over Manchester, where, in the Queen's Hotel in the 1940s, Basil the Flockhart and his wife Julia are trying to avoid being killed, only to be interrupted in the job by a mysterious figure in a brown leather trench coat offering a pumpkin latte and a ham and cheese toastie. We then see the Doctor, it's him in that coat, leaving the TARDIS early in the morning in his timeline to liberate some milk from a high-tech hotel, only to be told off by one of the staff and reminded that the facilities are only for the use of the Time Hotel's customers, leaving the Doctor to head back for the TARDIS, only to realise there's something incredibly wrong at that hotel. Something he can only find out about if he pretends to be room service and delivers a ham and cheese toastie to the right room. Right, what did I make of Joy to the World? What did I make of the cast, the story, the ending, the fact Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor was wearing what looked suspiciously like, if not identical to, Arthur Dent's dressing gown? I don't know about that last point, but it's probably something that's totally incidental, even though I'm thinking about getting run over by a digger. Never mind, let's change the subject and talk about the cast. The cast were and are very good. The main one, certainly. Ncuti as the 15th Doctor was as good, I feel, as he was in his first series, whether you call that season 1 or season 15. That was his first series. And it's also a far more restrained performance as the main character, especially in the scenes that show us the Doctor's growing relationship with Anita, played by Steph DeWaley. I'm actually put in mind of Patrick Troughton's time in the show. Many will point out that in his early storylines, his second Doctor was quite energetic and quite chatty, and his portrayal calmed down as he went along. Frankly, I think Ncuti's evolution as the Doctor seems to be going the same sort of way. Energetic in his first season, and his Christmas special is quite restrained. We'll have to see how he does in the second season. As an extra thought, the relationship between the Doctor and Anita is just outright bloody gorgeous. You know, and I know, that a central part of Doctor Who's appeal is the relationship between the Doctor and the companion, and that in Russell T Davies's original stint as showrunner, the Doctor was Donna's best friends, had deep romantic feelings for Rose, and absolutely nothing going on whatsoever for poor old Martha, completely unresponsive to and ignorant of Martha's feelings for him. And I'm seeing that unrequited love again here between a human, between Anita and the Doctor. Unrequited for different reasons, possibly. I assume that when I first saw the show on Christmas Day, that Anita's fallen for the Doctor, and she won't have her feelings for returned by him, as this version of the Doctor is definitely not heterosexual, is batting for the other, is gay. Let's be honest. At least that's how Ncuti's been playing it. But it literally occurred to me whilst writing this bit of the script that that's not the whole story. Martha's unrequited feelings for the 10th Doctor is matched by Anita's for the 15th, and that both versions of the character, both versions of the Doctor...
It's 1745.
Thank you, Killer. ...are on the rebound from a previous relationship, i.e. with a previous companion. Either way, Anita and the Doctor scenes are underlined are beautiful to watch, beautiful to see played out, and underlined by superb performances from Gaspar and DeWhaley. And frankly, better scripting from an on-form Stephen Moffat. Frankly, I could honestly believe that Anita and the Doctor have a better, more realistic future, and that the Doctor's arranged for her job at the Time Hotel because he will come back for her and we'll be seeing more of her. I hope so. I thought the character was well done. I don't know for sure, though, but I felt she made for companion material. By contrast, the relationship between the Doctor and Joy, between the Nicola Coughlan character, is a very different beast indeed. Anita is someone I would have called a suitable companion, a woman who's interested in the Doctor's life, wants to share it with him, and has a lot of questions to ask. Joy, by contrast, her relationship with the Doctor is not quite the same. Yes, she has questions. Yes, she is capable of standing up for herself. We see that when she grabs the suitcase. Yes, she is in trouble as a result of grabbing the suitcase. And yes, she needs the Doctor's help. But that's the issue, I think. Joy is company for the Doctor. She's intelligent, chatty, talkative, interested in interacting with him, but she's taking a trip on the TARDIS or with the Doctor because she needs his help, rather than, as with Anita, Rose, Martha, Donna, whoever else, as a matter of choice. She's there because she needs him, not because she wants to be with him. Joy is a damsel in distress, not a companion. Don't get me wrong, I think Nicola Coughlan did a great job as Joy. The scene where she loses her temper at the Doctor, her last conversation with her mother at the end of the show, her big speech as she's turning into a star, is well played, and it's a performance that tells us the awards and acclaims Coughlan has won are well deserved. But she's a victim the Doctor is rescuing, not the companion. Now, granted, I have issues with how the main cast or a main character has been defined, but those two main characters, Coughlan and Gaspar, are very good in their roles, as are the supporting cast. I've mentioned Anita already. She was supposed to be, from what I can see of the Wikipedia entry, she was supposed to be a minor character, but got expanded. There's other equally as well played supporting parts. Joel Fry's enthusiastic character, Jonathan Arris as the possessed Solarian hotel manager, the various bit parts behind the various bars in the hotel. They were well done and beautifully played, but they weren't necessarily the ones that caught my eye. Some minor characters, the ones on the other side of the Time Hotel's portals, caught my attention. Basil Flockhart, the old man played by Peter Benedict in the Queen's Hotel. He is someone who said he knew a pair of women who lived by the cathedral. Now, I was convinced he was supposed to be the inspector seen in some of the Vastra Investigates clips, specifically the one in 2012, where you get Madame Vastra and Jenny Anstrax and the inspector all turning up. I was convinced he was the inspector in that clip from 2012. Although the IMDb entry tells me the character was called Inspector Gregson, a Sherlock Holmes reference there. To me, though, a connection seemed plausible. Whether I'm right or wrong, though, I don't know. But a connection seemed plausible. Another such character is the dark-haired woman on the train, played by Neve Marie Smith. And again, much like Mr. Flockhart and his wife, it was a nicely done short scene. It was a nice cameo of a character with, according to IMDb, a very familiar name. It's not mentioned on screen, but apparently the woman on the train, according to IMDb, is called Sylvia Trench. And yes, this will only make sense to James Bond fans of a certain age, but the character shares her name with the Eunice Gayson character in the first two Bond movies. She's supposed to be James Bond's long-term girlfriend. Quite why Stephen Moffat included somebody called Sylvia Trench in his episode, I really don't know, but I'm betting that's a little Easter egg for Bond fans and something they are possibly getting overexcited by. There's also one door in the hotel that's round, made of wood and covered in black metal hinges that look suspiciously like a hobbit hole. You'll know it when you see it if you've seen Lord of the Rings. Then there is the portal that leads to a climbing expedition on Everest in 1953. Don't think we weren't watching enough that. Both of my sisters saw that scene, or those scenes, and were sitting there going, here, is that chap Australian? So, of course, their older brother is sitting there going, no, he's a New Zealander called Edmund Hillary, his mate's called Sherpa Tenzing, and they were the first people to climb Mount Everest. To me, it looks like the episode is very firmly in the Doctor Who educational tradition, or at least it leaves me explaining something and me wondering what my sisters learnt at school. But they are real educational figures that somebody seems to have missed out on. So, what about the story overall and its ending? The story itself, it's something I've watched time. Once with my family on Christmas Day over at my mother's, and once at home. And it's got to be said, I still think Stephen Moffat is a story writing genius, but one who likes throwing in a twist or a time loop or just making use of time as a narrative device. So it pays with a Moffat script to pay attention. And so it is with Joy to the World. There's a year-long loop right at the heart of it. Now, I find watching Moffat's episodes enjoyable, in part because you need to pay attention to those loops. You need to see where they're going and what they're doing. And Joy to the World is, in that sense, is no different. It's an enjoyably twisty romp with some genuine character development, some beautiful character moments, and an ending that is going to cause discussion. Sorry, that was my phone beeping there. At the end, we find that the star that Joy has been turned into is basically the star of Bethlehem, the new star that appears over the town of Bethlehem that heralds the birth of the Christ child and that was spotted, we're told, by the three wise men. I'm not especially religious, so I don't know quite how comfortable I feel with that very obvious religious reference. That said, Joy to the World is a Christmas episode. Let's face it, let's be honest. We haven't had Santa mentioned. We have instead had a reference to Bethlehem and to the religious figure born there and to a central character, Joy, that sacrifices herself to save others. That's both explicitly Christian, very Christmassy, arguably a nod to Easter, so that's supposed to be a sacrifice as well, and to put it bluntly, very appropriate, religious or otherwise. It's Christmas. What do I tell you? So, what did I think of Joy to the World? I have to admit, I've come away impressed with the story that's held my attention, had some wonderful characters, and actually had some great wit buried in amongst everything else. Ncuti's "is it armed?" question when handed a St. Plunger was the least of it. We have one heck of an episode, and one I will frankly be buying on Blu-ray when it gets released in January 2025. I will be looking forward to that copy turning up in my postbox, and be looking forward to Series 15, or Season 2, whatever they're calling it this year, when it gets released in 2025. I will be watching that as and when it gets released, so please feel free to follow my blog, Knickknacks Old Peculiar, and my YouTube channel, Mr. Cuddy29777. You will see my reviews of those shows as and when I post them. Until then, I will love you and leave you and wish you a very happy new year when it turns up. Take care, have fun, be good. Don't fall over.